Good morning. In the last lecture, we discussed quantum numbers. We talked about three quantum numbers: the total or principal quantum number, the magnetic quantum number, and orbital quantum number. These quantum numbers are responsible for quantization of different physical quantities associated with the motion of electron inside the hydrogen atom. The talk in the last lecture was general talk about the quantum numbers. Let us try to discuss these quantum numbers in somewhat detail. Let me first go to the total quantum number or principal quantum number. Total quantum number, you may also call this as principal quantum number. Total quantum number, it is also known as principal quantum number. I already told this in the last lecture. For what purpose this is used? Principal quantum number or total quantum number is always used to describe energy quantization. Any orbits to the electron for revolving around the nucleus is not allowed. Only those orbits are allowed in which the energy is quantized, and this energy quantization is restricted by the total quantum number or the principal quantum number. The electron in motion inside the hydrogen atom has constant energy. This constant energy may have positive values. This constant energy, which can have the only negative values, are given by the equation the electron in motion inside the hydrogen atom has constant energy according to the quantum mechanical picture of the hydrogen atom. According to the quantum mechanical picture of the hydrogen atom, the electron in motion inside the hydrogen can have only constant energies, This constant energy may be positive. This constant energy or energy of the electron inside the hydrogen atom can have only those negative values allowed by equation 1. The electron inside the hydrogen atom is bound particle in motion. It is allowed to have only those negative energies restricted or governed by equation 1. If we see RHS of equation 1, this is constant, this is constant, these are constants, n. This n may vary. This n is known as total quantum number or principal quantum number. What this n is? It is total quantum number or principal quantum number. This n is known as the total quantum number or principal quantum number. It means that this energy quantization for the electron inside the hydrogen atom is solely restricted or decided by this number n, and this number n is the principal quantum number or total quantum number, and it can have the values 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. This can have only values 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. That is, it can have only positive integral values. It can have only positive integral values. Negative values are not allowed to the quantum number. Zero value is also not allowed to the quantum number. The electron is considered as a bound particle which is in motion. Actually, it is in orbital motion. There must be some question in your mind. If such a theory is applicable to the electron which is in orbital motion, is it possible to apply such a quantum mechanical theory to other bodies which are in orbital motion? For example, Earth. The Earth is in orbital motion. Moon, it is also performing orbital motion. All the planets in the solar system are performing orbital motion. All other stars and various celestial objects present in the universe are also performing this type of orbital motion. If all the members of the solar family are performing orbital motion, is it possible to apply this quantum mechanical approach to study the motion of these heavenly bodies? Yes, of course. We can apply this quantum mechanical approach to study the orbital motion of the heavenly bodies like Earth, the Sun, the Moon, all other planets in the solar system, various satellites, etc., etc. Let us try to find principal quantum number of Earth. Let us try to find principal quantum number of Earth. We have to apply the same relation. We have to apply the same relation to find the principal quantum number of Earth. N is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on. And equation 1 will give us energy quantization of the Earth. Why? Earth is performing orbital motion. Earth is performing spin motion, electron performing orbital motion, it is also performing spin motion. Electron is bound with the atom due to the electrostatic force of attraction exerted by nucleus on the electron. The earth is bound to remain in the solar system because of the gravitational force of attraction exerted by the sun on the earth. So, the behavior of electron inside the hydrogen atom is just same as behavior of earth in the solar system, and therefore the same quantum mechanical approach we applied for the electron in the hydrogen atom can be applied to the earth in the solar system, and we can find the principal quantum number for the earth and its energy quantization. When we find the principal quantum number or total quantum number for earth, it comes out to be enormous, very, very large, very, very huge. You have to consider mass of earth, too large, very, very huge, etc., etc. And then you can find energy quantization. After finding energy quantization for various values of quantum number determined for the earth, you have to study the energy spectrum of earth. When we study energy spectrum of earth, we find that the gap between two energy levels, this is one energy level, may be corresponding to first value of n, this is second energy level, may be corresponding to second value of n, and if we find the space between these two energy levels, separation between these two energy levels, we find that the separation between consecutive energy levels of the earth is too small to be observable. It is so small that you are not able to differentiate between consecutive energy levels in the energy spectrum of the earth. Although we apply quantum mechanical theory to study the earth, the energy quantization may not be seen. It is actually there, but the separation between consecutive energy levels of the earth is very, very small as compared to the energy levels itself. It is too small to be observable. It is so small that we cannot observe the separation between these two. When we want to observe two consecutive energy levels, we will find that there are no two energy levels. Instead, a single energy level is there. If you go for 3, there are 3 energy levels are not there. Only one energy level is there. If you go for 4, you cannot differentiate these 4 energy levels. You will say that there are only one energy level. Because of this, the energy quantization is not seen, is not observed in case of the heavenly bodies, in case of the celestial objects. This is about the total quantum number or principal quantum number. As we discussed in the last lecture, the three-dimensional motion of the electron is only studied by using all the 3 quantum numbers: the principal or total quantum number, the magnetic quantum number, and the orbital quantum number. The radial part R is associated with N and L, principal quantum number and orbital quantum number. The zenith angle part theta is associated with small l and ml, the orbital quantum number and magnetic quantum number, whereas the azimuthal part phi is only associated with the magnetic quantum number ml. And therefore, the three-dimensional motion of the electron inside the hydrogen atom can be studied only with the help of all these three quantum numbers: principal quantum number or total quantum number, orbital quantum number and magnetic quantum number. Out of these three, in this article we have discussed the total quantum number or the principal quantum number. Hope you have got it. If any question, you may please convey your questions to me. And let us move to the next article. The next article is orbital quantum number. Next article is orbital quantum number. While we study orbital quantum number, we shall also talk about the orbital angular momentum, because when the electron is performing orbital motion inside the atom around the nucleus in hydrogen, it has orbital angular momentum. This orbital angular momentum can be studied with the help of the orbital quantum number. The orbital quantum number is a bit less obvious as compared to the principal quantum number or the total quantum number. Orbital quantum number can be studied by taking into consideration the differential equation involving radial part of spherical polar coordinate system. And the equation we obtained, we derived involving the radial part is this one. This is the differential equation we obtained after separating the variables from the Schrodinger equation of the hydrogen atom expressed in spherical polar coordinate system. And thus, equation 1 is the differential equation for the radial part of the hydrogen atom. Let us have a look into equation 1. Carefully observe equation 1. What did I tell? This differential equation is involving only radial part. So, this differential equation is solely only related with the radial motion of the electron. Radial motion of the electron, motion of the electron along the radius vector towards or away from the nucleus. This equation is solely related with the radial motion of the electron inside the hydrogen atom. And what is this radial motion? Motion of the electron along the radius vector towards the nucleus or away from the nucleus, and it is represented by the radial part only. But if we have a careful look into equation 1, we find that a term E is there. This term E is corresponding to total energy of the electron, and total energy of the electron may consist of the kinetic energy required for radial motion of the electron, the kinetic energy required for orbital motion of the electron, and electron's potential energy. As this is coming here, we cannot say that equation 1 is solely, only related, completely related with only radial part of the electron's motion because of the term E. This is the contradiction. We have to remove this contradiction so that this equation can be expressed only in terms of radial part. To remove such a contradiction from equation 1, the differential equation for the electron of the hydrogen atom involving only radial part, let me consider the total energy E as sum of the kinetic energy needed for radial motion, that is the kinetic energy needed by the electron to move towards the nucleus or away the nucleus along its radius vector. Then the kinetic energy needed by the electron to perform orbital motion around the nucleus inside the hydrogen atom, and the potential energy possessed by the electron because of its position. E is equal to minus V is equal to minus E square divided by 4 pi epsilon 0. E square is constant, 4 pi epsilon 0 is constant, R is only variable, this R is the radius vector, that is the position of the electron. As this vary, the potential energy of the electron will vary, and therefore this contradiction in equation 1 may be taken away by considering total energy E of the electron in equation 1 as kinetic energy for radial motion plus kinetic energy for orbital motion plus the potential energy of the electron inside the hydrogen atom. But as we know, this potential energy V of R of the electron inside the hydrogen atom is minus E square divided by 4 pi epsilon 0. Substitute this here. So total energy E will be equal to kinetic energy for radial motion plus kinetic energy for orbital motion plus the potential energy of the electron. Let it be equation number 2. Let us substitute RHS of equation 2 for this E here in equation 1. So with equation 2, equation 1 can be written as, with equation 2, equation 1 can be written as 1 by R square d by dr of R square d capital R by dr small r plus, let me have this 2m by h cross square outside this square bracket, and let me put these values here. E square divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 r. For this E I have to put this plus t radial plus t orbital minus E square divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 r minus h cross square into L plus 1 divided by 2m r square into r is equal to 0, equation 3. Substituting equation 2 into equation 1, it takes the form of equation 3. There is no change here. What we have done here, this 2m by h cross square is taken outside this square bracket here, so there is no change here, but here reciprocal of this will come, that is h cross square divided by 2m. First term written as it is. For this E we shall put this value, t radial plus t orbital minus E square divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 r minus this term with reciprocal of the common term taken, square bracket complete, into r is equal to 0, equation number 3. Let us observe this and this term. These two terms are identical and opposite, and therefore they identically cancels out each other. So let me cancel this term with this term, and what left now is this one, 1 by r square d by dr of r square dr by dr plus 2m divided by h cross square t radial plus t orbital minus h cross square L into L plus 1 divided by 2m r square into r is equal to 0, equation 4. After identically cancelling out the terms, what left is this, 1 by r square d by dr of r square dr by dr plus 2m by h cross square kinetic energy for radial motion plus kinetic energy for orbital motion minus h cross square into L plus 1 divided by 2m r square into capital R is equal to 0, equation number 4. Again, let us have a look inside this square bracket. First term corresponding to radial part, 2m by h cross square, it is constant. This is corresponding to radial part. These two terms are not corresponding to radial part. Equation 4 will be solely, equation 4 will be only the differential equation for the radial part if these two terms cancel each other. That is, equation 4 will take this form, 1 by r square d by dr of r square dr by dr plus 2m divided by h cross square into t radial into r is equal to 0, equation number 5. If and only if t orbital minus h cross square L into L plus 1 divided by 2m r square is equal to 0. Equation 4 can take this form if and only if t orbital minus h cross square into L plus 1 divided by 2m r square is equal to 0. And now if you look into equation 5, what we see, equation 5 is now the differential equation involving only radial part. No other part is present in equation 5, and therefore we can call equation 5 as the differential equation consisting or involving only the radial part of the electron's motion inside the hydrogen atom. That is, the anomaly in equation 1 is removed with this procedure. But the condition needed to get equation 5 is this condition. This condition should meet. If this condition is met, then only, if this condition is met, then only equation 5 is true. So, when this condition is met, then we accomplished our task of representing equation 1 as the differential equation for the electron of hydrogen atom in terms of only radial parts. Okay. So, I think it is sufficient for this lecture. Some part of this article is still left. We shall go for this part in the next lecture. Hope you got all these things. Thank you.